So you've been going to the gym for some time. You're trying to get bigger gains in the gym, so you decide to start looking at supplements. And if you might have already been supplementing creatine, but if you haven't yet, you've probably asked around, and people have said, "Oh, dude, take creatine. It's the most studied. It's good for you." Blah blah blah. Well, what a lot of them don't tell you, or what you might have already learned, is that taking too much creatine is bad for your liver. So this is why I'm making a video basically telling you how to get natural creatine into your diet, because all the meat that you eat does in fact have a certain amount of creatine in it. But people supplement it for different reasons, mainly because one, it's cheaper to supplement it, and two, because you need a lot of creatine in your diet in order to get the gains that you're looking for with the supplement. So with creatine, basically what you'd be looking for is 5 grams. That's what you get in every scoop of creatine. So every time you put creatine into your protein shake, you're getting 5 grams of creatine. If you really want to get specific and calculate it out, then it'd be 14 milligrams per pound of body weight. And if you are in the European area, European Union, or AKA just basically England, because I don't really know the gun laws for everywhere else, I do know that everybody except America uses kilograms, but I don't know how many of you guys can't have guns. So, regardless, if you are European, then, or literally just not American, then 30 milligrams per kilogram is going to be your calculation. And like I said, you could do the math, but also you could just take 5 grams. It's that simple. Some people take three, but again, it just depends on your body weight. I always just take five. Never have I calculated it ever, but let's get into how to actually take the natural amount. So remember, we're shooting for 5 grams. That's what I'm just gonna do because, like I said, I'm not gonna calculate my body weight or your body weight. Just go for 5 grams. So 5 grams of creatine. To get this naturally, I'm gonna look at 3 different meats. I'm gonna look at beef, chicken, and fish. Okay. So first, we're gonna look at beef. I think beef is probably one of the best options that you could have because beef, it's like it's like a superfood. So you hear all these vegans talking about superfoods and blueberries are really good and all these other foods, right? But beef has the highest amounts of many vitamins that you can't find in vegetables or in fruits. For example, vitamin A. If you were to eat beef liver, like a small chunk of beef liver, you're getting like over 1,000 milligrams of vitamin A, way more than you need. So overall, beef is pretty good for you. It's a great supplement to your diet. Obviously, it's not a supplement because you're actually eating it, but it's great to get those vitamins in. And on top of that, it has creatine in it, and it has a pretty good amount too, I'd say. So for 4 ounces of beef, you're getting 500 milligrams of creatine. So remember, think back, we're going for 5 grams, right? So if you didn't know, if you weren't aware, if you skipped measurements in elementary school, you need 1,000 milligrams to get 1 gram. So that's half of 1 gram. So 2 servings of this is going to equal out to 1 gram. And then you'll need to basically, you know, quadruple that, and or not quadruple, whatever, quintuple, I don't know. Basically 5 times it, and you'll get 5 grams. So you're basically 10 times in the 4 ounces, and so you'd be eating 40 ounces of beef. That's a lot of beef, bro. 40 ounces. Um, so think about this. To put a price on this, you can get the cheapest steak. It's called beef eye of round steak. It's literally the cheapest cut of steak that you can get. I used to buy it a lot, and I would pay anywhere from $8 to $10 per pound. It would depend on the price of meat at the time, but anywhere from $8 to $10 per pound. So you can divide 1 pound up into 4 ounces 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16, which equals 1 pound. So you'll have 4 servings of this. So basically, you'll only have 2 grams of creatine. And I would eat that. I would buy 2 packs and I would eat it throughout the week. Because obviously, you can eat other meats and you can also supplement, like I said. But if you were to spend $8 to $10, you would have less than half of your daily serving of creatine. Okay, so just to continue thinking, this is why a lot of people supplement it. Not a lot of people actually naturally get all of it because one, it's expensive. Two, you have to eat a lot of meat. So just to go straight into the next one, I'm just going to be keeping it at 4 ounces for everything. So 4 ounces of chicken. I am writing chick because I don't feel like writing chicken. Has 450 milligrams of creatine, and so it's 50 milligrams less, not that much. Chicken's cheaper. You guys probably already eat chicken because everyone loves the chicken and rice, chicken and broccoli, chicken and potatoes, chicken and everything, basically. Um, I hate chicken and rice. I can't stand rice. I can't stand chicken very much either, but I love eggs. But I didn't look at eggs for this. I just love eggs. So, not much to say about this. You guys probably already know the price of chicken because you probably buy it all the time. I'll tell you what though, if you live near like a Costco or Aldi, you might think it's cheaper to go to Costco and get your big bulk chicken there. When I used to buy it, like I was really penny pinching just to get the cheapest amount, but it was like I don't know, like maybe a whole dollar cheaper to buy it at Aldi, and I would buy the Heritage Farms, and it was like $10 per pack, and then I would get like 2 weeks worth of food from it. But then if I was to get 3 weeks of food, it'd be $30, right? So then I go to Costco and I look at the same thing and I get one big bag for 3 weeks of food. But it ended up being like $33. So like I was penny pinching. But the point is that Aldi is cheaper than Costco most of the time. Um, but anyway, moving on to the next one. And I didn't have much to say about chicken because really like there's not much nutrition in chicken. Like there is, but like in comparison to beef, it's like not even worth mentioning. But then we have 4 ounces of I'm just gonna put hair. I'll just put herring, so you know what I'm talking about. So 4 ounces of herring. So fish has a lot. Herring just happen to have the most, so that's why I'm putting it up here. But realistically, I don't know who eats herring. I've never eaten herring. You might be thinking, like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I've eaten herring my whole life. Well, that's good for you, bro. You've been getting a lot of creatine because I don't know, like, even what a herring looks like. I just know it's a fish. But other than that, before I tell you how much creatine it has in it, the big reveal, I just want to let you know that fish is great. Okay, so I said chicken wasn't really worth mentioning. Beef was great as far as vitamins, but um, but fish is great because it has omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. So a lot of people take fish oil, right? And what fish oil is it's just omega 3 fatty acids, or sometimes omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. But you can get that from eating sardines, tuna, herring, mackerel, salmon, whatever it may be, right? So it's great for you. It's great for your heart, and it's not going to destroy your liver like a creatine supplement would. But the thing is, if you are going to be eating a lot of things like tuna and salmon specifically, tuna and salmon are like heavily farmed, and so the thing is, with them being heavily farmed, a lot of these farms aren't the best conditions, right? Like if it says product of Thailand, it's been farmed. Okay, so if you're wanting to get actually healthy salmon and tuna, you're going to want to get wild caught salmon. And I say salmon specifically because no matter what type of tuna you get, tuna has mercury in it. It's a very small amount of mercury. But if you eat it all the time, it's enough to literally give you mercury poisoning. And you might have heard of Tony Robbins. He's like a super famous business guy. But Tony Robbins actually got heavy metal poisoning from eating so much tuna throughout his life. So while it's like unlikely that you're going to eat that much tuna, it also kind of is very likely because it's so cheap that you might just think, well, it's healthy and it's a lot of protein and it even has a lot of creatine. So I might as well just get that. If you're going to get that, make sure it's wild caught and make sure you don't eat it too much. But salmon, if you're going to eat salmon, it's pretty, very, very, very similar to tuna. It's just a little bit more expensive. As I'm just talking about nutritional value, by the way, because it tastes way different. Tuna tastes better. Salmon, I'm a salmon hater. I like smoked salmon. Other than that, I need like so much seasoning, so I don't taste the salmon because I hate that fishy taste. Um, but yeah, so salmon, you need to get it wild caught. Make sure it doesn't say product of Thailand. Make sure it doesn't say all that, like Alaskan wild caught salmon, and make sure on the back that it doesn't say product of Thailand, because Thailand is where they do a lot of the like commercial farming for these fish, and they even a lot of the time they do say wild caught, but then you look at the back and it says product of Thailand. Bro, salmon aren't naturally swimming around in Thailand, so make sure it's not farmed because you'll get a bunch of like gross shit in your salmon basically, and then it'll go into your body when you digest it. So anyway, back to the herring. 4 ounces of herring is 950 milligrams of creatine. So basically, if you eat 4 ounces of herring, I have no clue on the price on this one, by the way. I didn't want to look it up because I was just like, who the fuck eats herring? I was just gonna tell you guys to get salmon, right? Um, but anyway, if you were to eat 4 ounces of herring, that's like almost one serving. Well, not one serving. That's like 1/5 of one serving of creatine, right? That's almost 1 gram. For me, that's good enough. I would just round it up. Um, but yeah, so looking at all of this, and then thinking about the fact that you still need 5 grams of creatine a day, you start to kind of realize why you need to supplement it. Because, like, let's say over here, we're putting a price on it, right? So the price of this, if I was to get all of my servings from this, would be $40, right? Is that what it was? Yeah, it was $40. And then this one, it was a lot less. I don't remember how much it was that I used to buy. I think it was like 4 pounds. Maybe, yeah, I think it was like 4 pounds of chicken I would get for $20. I could be tripping. Y'all might like be like, "Whoa, what chicken are you getting?" Might be tripping, but I'm pretty sure it's like $20. And then, like I said, we're just gonna keep this a mystery number because who the fuck eats herring? But anyway, then you look at like a supplement, which I find cheaper supplements if possible. You could also go to bulksupplements.com, and they have a lot of different supplements that you could get in like huge amounts. Okay, it's like the Costco of supplements. But 5 grams of creatine, if you're gonna go get like some bucked up creatine at GNC, so like the most expensive of expensive, then you're gonna pay $60 for it. But realistically, you're not going to pay $60 for it. And so this $40 is for one day. This $60, I think the bucked up one is like shitty amount of servings too. So I think it's only 40 servings, like in comparison to other supplements. But it's $60 for 40 servings. And then this is $40 for one serving, basically. So you see kind of why a lot of people don't naturally get it all. But what you can do is you can buy a supplement and then eat, your healthy food and calculate. Now that you know the amount of creatine in each of these foods, you now can kind of calculate like, okay, I'm actually getting like 2 grams of creatine, so I only need to take 3. And one, your supplement's gonna last longer, bro, because them are expensive, okay? And 2, you won't need to put that into your body a lot, because if you are taking a lot of creatine by the mouth, by the protein shake, bro, then like it's not good for your liver, and that's been studied, and you guys know that it's a downside to creatine. If you take too much, then it's bad for your liver. But yeah, one final thing to look at is if we're gonna put all of that I just erased into like realistically, if you were to eat this every day, because you're not gonna just eat beef, right? You're not gonna eat 40 ounces of beef. And like I said, nobody eats herring, so I'm not including that in this calculation. And most gym bros are eating chicken and steak. So you would need to eat 24 ounces of chicken and 20 ounces of beef. Oh, whoops, spelled beef. Anyway, so this together equals 5 grams of creatine. Just think about that, bro. 24 ounces of chicken. So if you're only eating 6 ounces of chicken for your little meal prep lunch, 6, 12, 18, 24. That's 4 of those lunches, bro. You're going to either have to up the amount you put in your lunch, or you're just going to have to start scarfing down chicken. And that is only half of the equation. So 24 ounces of chicken, 4 meal preps, plus 20 ounces of beef. 20 ounces of beef, bro. You know how much steak that is? You know how much money that is? It's a lot of money. You might as well start eating like 90-10 ground beef, and that's still going to be expensive because low key, buying the beef I have round is cheaper than buying ground beef. If y'all didn't know that, it actually is. Buying a pound of ground beef is more expensive than buying beef I round steak. It's the worst cut of steak, but it's still steak versus ground beef. So anyway, yeah. So looking at that realistically, it's very hard to actually get the amount that you're gonna want. But if you do want to get it, like I said, beef was 500 milligrams, chicken was 450 milligrams, and herring, if you eat herring, it's 950 milligrams. All of that is for 4 ounces of each thing. But like I said, you should probably just get the supplement and also calculate how much you're already getting in your diet because I'm sure you guys are eating a lot of meat. So if you're eating meat already, then calculate in how much creatine you're getting from the meat and continue to supplement, but just supplement less so that you're not over consuming creatine and so that you're not going to mess up your liver, but you can still get those gains, right? All right. So that's all I have for y'all. I just want y'all to remember to live life to the fullest. Praise God.